I'm back. Rudrance for our Black and White Network. Well, we're going to talk about Gutfeld and John Fetterman. As we saw last week, Dr. Oz, Mehmet Oz, destroyed John Fetterman during a debate, and John Fetterman looked kind of how like we suspected. The inability to carry on two coherent consecutive sentences, much like Joe Biden. So for the left, that really doesn't matter. They just want to be able to sort of will out a puppet and stick their hand up its ass and make it talk and spit out socialist ideas. And that's exactly what Joe Biden has done. Let's be real. So Gutfeld's got this great show, late night show. It's been nice to have a late night a show that is much more on the conservative side. I mean, Gutfeld's the master of sarcasm and satire. You guys know I like Bill Maher. I don't agree with a lot of his ideals, but he does make me laugh, and that's fine. I don't need an echo chamber. But of course, the media has rushed to prop up John Fetterman right after the debate, and they are praising him. It was a train wreck. It was a dumpster fire rolling downhill on a tire fire, but the media did just that. They stepped up. They're trying to cover his ass and praise John Fetterman. Well, Gutfeld is not really having any of it, and he called out the media for their rush to defend John Fetterman. Somehow, some way, we're supposed to want to vote for him. Now, I'm in Texas, but the people of Pennsylvania is supposed to want to vote for this man strictly because what, he's disabled now? I mean, what we're losing sight of in this country is we got to quit picking politicians based on checking boxes or identity politics or anything like that. Is the person qualified to hold some kind of office in public authority? It's pretty simple. I mean, we see guys that do, such a good job of being in these other offices like Ron DeSantis, Greg Abbott, and people of that ilk. And then, we've got John Fetterman here trying to run. And it's just a nightmare. This is media. Gutfeld tears in the media fluffers spinning Fetterman debate performance to make him the Rosa Parks of lumpy white men. Yeah, that's pretty funny. John Fetterman, quote, got a pass from the media on his bomb of a debate performance. Fox News host Greg Gutfeld said on Friday night, dubbing the Democratic Pennsylvania Senate candidate, quote, the Rosa Parks of lumpy white men, trying to hide their condition from voters. Fetterman debated with Republican opponent Mehmet Oz this week in a debate that required closed captioning as Fetterman continues to try to recover from a stroke. Fetterman's health has led to worries among critics who fear he may not be up to the job, though others have praised the Democrat for continuing his campaign. And let's just hear a little bit of this.
With Dr. Oz, a desperate media is trying to turn him into a hero for the disability movement. Ooh, wow. That just made one audience member sick to her stomach. Yes, he's now the Rosa Parks of lumpy white men who hide their condition to fool voters into thinking he was fine. A slew of positive spin headlines paint a rosy picture of Fetterman's heroism and bravery when all he did was bark out confusing half sentences. Quote, a lens of empathy.
Did you see what that said? That said, Fetterman can do for disability what Obama did for race. Oh. That nothing right there talks about the man's ability to do the job. That's the Charlotte Observer. Good God.
The debate highlights ableism in politics. Fetterman can do for disability what Obama did for race.
Say what?
See, because when all else fails, use identity politics.
That's
but
right.
MSNBC's Lawrence O'Donnell went a step further.
Franklin Roosevelt and Winston Churchill had the good fortune to serve as the highest elected officials in their countries long before television news could cover their every move. Franklin Delano Roosevelt believed that it would be painful to watch him. Painful to watch quickly became an oft-repeated phrase on Twitter last night during the Pennsylvania Senate campaign debate.
He was He was painful to watch.
Oh, funny. Good God. Gutfeld doubled down on his criticism of Fetterman's fawning media, showing positive headlines about Fetterman's performance from outlets like The Guardian. My God. It's pretty crazy. ABC News and others. Yes, he's now the Rosa Parks of lumpy white men who hide their condition to fool voters into thinking he's fine. A slew of positive headlines paint a rosy picture of Fetterman's heroism and bravery when all he did was bark out confusing half sentences. Isn't this the same guy that once held a black guy by gunpoint because he thought he was doing something wrong and he totally wasn't doing anything wrong, but yet he held him with a shotgun and until authorities arrived? Wasn't he like a mayor or something back then? I don't know. I mean, Democrats aren't racist. Okay. He did, however, agree that there is a major similarity between the two long-dead leaders and Fetterman. They're talking about Winston Churchill and Franklin D. Roosevelt. But he has a point, Gutfeld said. I mean, Fetterman does have something in common with Churchill and FDR. None have made a coherent statement in a long time. Oh, that's really good. That's really good. I appreciate that. Man, he's right. God almighty, we're seeing it in spill over into the military and leaders and our White House press secretary, who is worthless as tits on a boar hog. She's propped up there, but she checks a bunch of boxes. She's black, she's lesbian, and she's unqualified. That's the third box that is checked. They're doing it with our politicians. I mean, Fetterman's got no business running for major public office at all, okay? I mean, let's put his politics aside and say he was just a regular person. Could he be a mayor of a town of, say, 1,500 people? Maybe. But we're talking about this huge position, right? Now, I wouldn't want his politics as a mayor in a town of 1,500 people, but you get my point, right? He just doesn't need that kind of responsibility because who the hell knows what's firing through his neurons right now in his head. It's frightening. Chuck Schumer, we saw last week on the tarmac, him talking to Joe Biden about the fact that they're really worried about Herschel Walker in Georgia, but he said he thought the debate against Oz didn't hurt them very much in Pennsylvania. That's frightening. That's frightening that that's coming out of his mouth, because what are you looking at, Pennsylvania? By the way, Pennsylvania, how about you quit going all in on anything climate change or green related? You've got to look, you're like Texas. Okay, you got a lot of things involving the oil industry, et cetera, et cetera. It's baffling to me that people want to sit down and get behind somebody like this guy. Look, no offense to him, it's sad that the dude had a stroke. All right, nobody's trying to make fun of him. Okay, but at the end of the day, let's be real here. Okay, if you can't do the job because you're not mentally capable of doing the job, then you just can't do the job. That's a thing. Whether any liberals want to like it or not, if that's mean, sorry, but not sorry. Okay? It's just, it is what it is. You've been handed a bad deck of cards. Sorry. Physically and mentally right now. Bad timing. If you always wanted to be a senator or whatever, maybe it's not in the cards for you with the way it's turned out. Maybe Walmart greeter would be, something that could be more in your lane, possibly. I don't know. Tell me what you think, Black and White Network supporters. Am I mean? Was that mean? Walmart grader. It seems to me like that's probably a pretty decent job. Peace. I'm out. Till next time. Black and White Network supporters, make sure you go over and check out the Black and White Network merchandise store. 25% off USA First. 25% off USA First. Go now.